Hello, friend, and welcome back to another, VRChat Unity tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make yourself some nice different toggles and toggles of, different sorts. These toggles are going to be ChilloutVR compliant, meaning that they are completely one-step toggles. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going, effects, toggles, and then I'll create a folder for the custom one. Because the God Yuri already comes with a whack ton of different animations for different things, and a whole bunch of different other controls for other such things. So what we're going to do is we're also going to go here, create, animation, which, that's what you do for, making things like that. What we'll also do is we're also going to create a new animation controller, so we don't have any of the studious other nonsense from other, projects. Or say you don't have an animation controller at all. This is how you would do that to start your effects layer for, creating toggles for your avatar in case your avatar didn't come with a specific toggle to toggle on and off, specific assets on your model that are weight painted properly but just don't have a toggle on them. So we will create this one. We will call it mallet. And in case anyone didn't know, I just pressed F2 and it'll rename stuff. So obviously we have this thing called base layer. We'll call it hammer toggle. And what we'll do is we will drag this into the entry, and we will drag this into the exit as well. Now, the thing that's going to make this interesting is, not minus 41, but minus 1. So this is going to be mallet on, and we'll make this make this speed 1. We'll make this mallet off because we want the mallet to start in the default state of being off, and we'll set this to -1. We'll make transitions between the two of them, and we will select the transition. So for the transition, you're going to want to have a parameter, typically a Boolean. And what you want is for when it's false, it's going to be off, and since this is the transition from on to off, you want it to be false. And with this one, you want it to be true, so that when the transition comes, and it becomes true, the mallet becomes on. If it's off, it's false. That way, the little circle icon inside VRChat, and we can show that with the gesture manager in a second when I go to play mode to test this off. But yeah, when it's on, the little circle's on. When it's off, the little circle's off. It's a little, thing to let you know. And so off is going to be -1. And that's also a key part of making sure that we understand what's going on. Because if off is -1, it helps you remember that the first step should be off. That'll make sense in a second. I'm just explaining it and saying it over and over again so that it hopefully gets reinforced into your brain about how particularly you would want to make this. Now, you can go click add properties and scroll all the way down on the armature, hips, spine, chest, not neck, but right shoulder, you know, go all the way down the armature line, or go down the armature line where you've already set up this, click on the little record button here, press Shift, Alt, and A, and gem mallet starts with off, go to step 1, and gem mallet is on. Now, off being -1, it'll play the animation in reverse, meaning that that is where the gem mallet ends up, right? And for on, it means it plays it forward. So that means gem mallet is on. So, right. Next thing we're going to want to do after we stop doing that and stop previewing the animation, we're going to want to go to our parameters. So we want to go to here in the expressions settings, go to the parameter list, come down here. We have 120 out of 256, meaning we have plenty of room to make things. So you just want to add a simple parameter. It'll be a bool. We'll call this one. And if you want to check exactly what it's called, always go to the effects layer and title it exactly, because the way these things work is the way this works is it looks for something that is exactly titled this exact way. Oh. Sorry, I just noticed this synced section on the side because I'm only used to default and saved. And default will be off and saved will be off. This is a way that you can create a safety toggle as well, where if you need something to, say, be on when the avatar spawns, but you don't want it to be saved, so that, like, when you log into VRChat again, say if you were, I don't know, like, dared to run around in a world streaking, if you put a safety toggle on it, the next instance you go to, you'll have all your clothes back on. But yeah, so you would create a toggle, and in this case we want a boolean because we created a boolean over here, and with the boolean it allows the menu to grab this parameter and interact with it. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do next as well. Come here to the menu, and you know, we'll just add control because it's easier to do that. Call this one hammer. We want it to be a toggle, and we want hammer to be the parameter that is selected. Now you can also add your own little textures and stuff like that, and that will allow you to have nicer looking menus, which is, you know, what a lot of the professional and paid for avatars will do, is they'll have little tiny icons to help you identify at a glance which menu and layer you're in and things like that. Now that this is added here, what we want to do is we want to actually take our enable effects, toggles, custom, and for mallet, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to the VR Labs Avatar 3.0 Manager. This should be automatically included if you're using the VCC, the Creator Companion, but if you're not, just search up for the VR Labs AV3 Manager, and it should help you to make your things. So we're going to come here, we're going to go to the effects layer, because that's typically the layer that you want to sync. Sometimes you want to sync the action layers together. Sometimes, I don't know why you would want to sync base layers together, but you could do that. You could basically combine different animation controllers, or I guess animators. So you would come here, you would add animator to merge, and you would merge this animator right here. Comes with the parameter hammer, right? And if you just want to merge on current, it won't create a separate one. If you wanted to merge on new, it'll create a new controller so that you can still keep all of the original, you know, controls of that one. If you're trying to create, say, two separate models, one with Raliv's DPS system and one without, that would be a good reason to use merge on new, so it creates a separate FX controller. But I'm just going to click merge on current. And so that's going to happen. Typically as well, if you're merging things, you can also come to this parameters list, and if you have another, say we go to create VRChat avatars and then parameters, they by default come with these three. Now, I have no interest in using these three. So what we're going to do is we're just going to delete all of these. And if I wanted to, I could have created one that was this with type Boolean, where none of it's saved, but it is synced. And that would have been a way for me to copy my expressions, and I would have just copied it like that. Just, you know, being thorough in my explanation of how toggles specifically work. So, with that in mind, there are a few other types of toggles that you can make. So let's say, for instance, you know, outfit. We'll call this one custom. Then inside we will create another, you know, what are we going to create? Well, this time we're actually going to create two different animations. We're going to call this one white, and if you go here and press Control D, it'll duplicate it. You can then rename it to that. We're going to create a animation controller. Now, granted, this animation controller is going to be a little bit different, and we will also, you know, create a new expression parameter. We will just keep one of these floating points and we'll rename it to color swap, spelled like that. Floating point, and we will have the default be 0 and it'll be saved. So now this is going to definitely get into the weeds of animations and stuff like that, but it should allow us to create a really nice looking custom, how should I put it? It allows us to create a color wheel, so to speak. So I'm showing it with just 2 animations, but you can literally do this with as many animations as you want. Now, this one is going to be different. So we are going to create a floating point, and what we're going to do is we're going to call this one color swap, spelled like that, because that is the one that is in our... I don't care that it's used by the blend tree. Okay, we're going to go here, and we're going to set the parameter as motion time, and it's going to be the motion time of color swap. We're also going to go back into this blend tree, and it's not going to be blend, it's going to be color swap. Then we're going to add motion trees, and you can even have blend trees inside of blend trees. So yes, but we're going to have black be the second one, meaning completely one, and white be the first one, meaning that since it's going to start at 0, and that is how it's going to be, this blend tree is going to go with the motion time of color swap, meaning how far along on the floating point scale between 0 and 1, but in game it's going to be registered as 0 and 100%. So just think of it as, don't remember the proper math term for it, but just think of it as the 2 extra zeros at the end is the percentage amount. So, you know, like 1.00, that's a, oh, yeah, percentages. Just think of it like percentages in math, where 1 is 100% and obviously 0.00 is 0%, and anywhere in between that is a different percentage. So what we're going to do is we are going to go here to the animation tab, and for white we're going to add properties. And so for, say, the bikini, we're going to go to skinned mesh transform, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab the material color, shaders, material first shade color. Let me actually see what I'm working with. Color and alpha, and also make sure that if you're using Poyomi, like most avatars do, if you're creating a color slider or things like that, you want to right click here and click animated when locked. So let's bikini, skin mesh render, and we're going to color. And we're going to, okay, so it says 111, meaning white. That's not, I'm confused by this. Oh well. Now granted, this is a minute-long animation. No? Wait, I don't... I think these are frames and not seconds. Oh, right, because these are frames, but they do sense 58, 59, 60... but 60 is the same as 1 second, because I think Unity thinks in 60 frames a second. Preview. I don't think I grabbed the right parameter. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to delete this and completely just get rid of that. What we're going to do is we're going to go back over to our trusty record function, and we are going to put it like that for completely white. And we are also going to have another frame where we completely set it to white again. Then we're going to go to, say something like ears and tail as well. We're going to come here for color and alpha, and we're going to animate when locked. And we're going to do the same thing again. And then come here to accessories 1. Color and alpha. We're to do that. Go to second one. And basically do this for all the ones we care about. Okay. Now, granted, this, you may or may not have to do this for all the ones, all of the skin to mesh renders, which are these things. Forgot that I was in animation mode. Now, granted, this isn't the best way that I know of to do this. You're gonna end up with artifacts and things like that. But yeah, I believe it's everything that I would want to animate on this. Then what you can do is you can go over here, grab all of these, press Control C. Yeah, I wouldn't want to animate anything else. And then we're going to go to the black clip, and we're just going to press Control V. And what we are going to do is we are going to press record, have it be white for us, and then we're going to go into the black section, go to 0.1, and go black again. Now, granted, I'm not doing this as artistically as I can. I'm just going through it as a quick and dirty thing. Oh, that is something that I'm gonna have to do on the body, though, that I did forget about the other one. I'll add it to this one, then I'll add it to the other one, but the hair as well. And it won't do that when it's locked. So understand that when it did that to the body, it was doing that because I don't have it set up properly right now, where it'll not do that. Okay, so I'm gonna just go through each one real quick. And just double check that anything that I changed would be changed. Okay. That's a pretty, I would say, non-offensive way to make color edits. Now, granted, just having it black and white, not necessarily good, but I'm going to uncheck that real quick. go over here, make sure that multiplicative is checked. Okay. Going to unpreview that. And also get rid of the bikini for now because not gonna need it. Okay. Disable that for the upload process. And yeah, I remember that I needed to go to white real quick, do the record process for that. Come over here, white, and then go to the next keyframe and white. Yeah. So that should be reasonably all that we'll need for both white and black. Granted, trust me, the body won't look like that when all of the materials are locked and stuff. But yeah, we're going to call this one color parameters. And then again, what you would do is you would come to the AV3 manager. On the armature, grab this, go to the effects layer. Again, we're going to add an animator and merge. We're going to merge color swap, merge on current. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we are going to actually do the process of adding the parameter, copy parameter. Now we have 128 out of 256. So now we see that both hammer and color swap is there. Let's go ahead and check the animator itself just to make sure that, you know, parameters, color swap, hammer. And we come down here at the very bottom where it's color swap, which is a blend tree. I'm going to name that okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the main menu. And you know what? I don't want hammer here. I want it somewhere else. So I'll just call this one color swap. And then it will be a radial puppet, which is a different type of thing. And then what we are going to do is we are going to go to the color swap float. And then under, say, accessories, which you can get to by double clicking the accessories, we can add the control for the hammer back here. What we can also do now is we can also test out this. So I'm going to click none so that it doesn't have a controller running. I'm going to click play, right? Then after it's done doing all of its rigmarole behind the scenes things, you come here and then you would click on gesture manager. And it animates your avatar just as if you were playing in-game on desktop mode. So what we're going to do for color swap is we're going to come here and we're going to go to 100% and 0%. Now go to accessories, come over here, hammer. Now, to show you that I'm not lying when I say, oh, if you lock all of the materials. Okay, so I think I may have figured out what it was. I think I just didn't lock the right material yet. We're gonna go back into play mode and test it out real quick. And color swap. As you can see, working perfectly fine. We can also, like, you know, and the reason we set it to be in between is because we can pick like a really nice looking gray color, and then we can just, you know. Oh, right. I'm using gesture manager, which means that I have to put it on via this way. So, but you get the gist of it. It's a really nice way to create a like color gradient, if you would. Really easy way, in fact, to do that. And again, if we go to accessories and pull out my hammer, and that's pretty much the ways you can make different sorts of toggles. If you have any suggestions for toggles that you would like to see, let me know down in the comment section down below. A like would always be appreciated, but if you dislike it, click that dislike button and let me know in the comments down below. Click subscribe if you're not already for more Unity tutorials whenever I get on them, every about 4 months or so, because I'm supremely busy and don't have time in my life yet to make this full time. If you would like to start supporting me full time so that I can try and make this my career, a Patreon link will be down in the description, and Patreon members will get access to each tutorial video about a week in advance of regular YouTube. And you know, thanks for watching. I hope this helps with whatever you need. All right, bye-bye.